Hi folks, my name's Tom Humphreys and I'm Project Manager for the Biosphere Communities Project as part of the North Devon UNESCO Biosphere. So we're funded by the Climate Action Fund, or CAF, and we owe a lot of thanks to the lottery. There's a lot of CAF projects across the United Kingdom and they're all fully staffed and fired up, and our CAF project in North Devon is that Biosphere Communities Project. Now, the problem at the heart of the project that we're trying to solve is that there is inadequate representation or mobilisation of communities taking part in sustainable land management, or SLM. So what we're trying to do as part of the project is acknowledge the great work that's already taking place across the UNESCO Biosphere, led at the local level, making sure that they've got the support, skills and behaviour, but also making sure that their locally led action is tying in with wider strategic aims. So, for example, part of the Local Nature Partnership and the Local Nature Recovery Strategy. And if there are these goals or missions across the whole biosphere, when a community group is suitably motivated, supported and well-resourced, they can look to actually deliver that strategy at a local level. So we're here at the entrance to Kynox foreshore, just a short 10 minutes walk away from Bideford Old Bridge on East the Waterside. So if you were to come down on what is the Tarka Trail, an old steam railway line, either on foot or on bike, if you see this, make sure you pull in and enjoy a great view of the River Torridge and some of the nesting birds maybe. And coming up the Tarka Trail into the Bideford Sustainability Group allotment here, for 15 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, the shared benefit of urban gardening and that person's growth at the same time is really exemplified by places like this. So as part of the project, supporting green skills where we can is really important to us.
I'm Stephen Price. I work at the North Devon Biosphere on the Biosphere Communities Project with 4 community animators who work in communities in North Devon. The idea being that they make connections in those communities between different groups that are there and the community to bring about something new or to realise opportunities that might be there. So here in South Molton, we've got the South Molton Community Garden right here, the Community Woodland, One South Molton and Ecolinks. And the idea is to build connections between those groups so they're able to reach out to the rest of the community and engage more people.
Hi, I'm Rob. I'm the lead ecologist at the North Devon Biosphere. I support the animators with part of the Biosphere Communities project, and I carry out habitat monitoring and habitat surveys alongside wildlife engagement activities. For example, working with the local communities, carrying out things like river kick sampling and carrying out local nature walks, and with a sort of a big focus on sustainable land management. And here we are at Kenworth.
Hi, I'm Katie and I'm the community animator for Bideford. I don't draw cartoons. The name animator means that I'm actually animating the local community. I'm going to be working in a co-creative kind of way with the community to find out what they want to do to really embed sustainability within the community and within their lives. And believe it or not, this is in Bideford. Who knew we had such an incredibly beautiful place, literally a stone's throw from the town centre? And it's these kind of wonderful places that I'm really keen to get the community to get involved with, to engage with, and maybe we need to start looking after a bit more. So I've had lots of conversations with people in Bideford, and there are a couple of issues that keep coming up. Everybody seems to be very concerned about the health of the Torridge, thinking about pollution and sewage out spills. And the other thing that comes up is about access and lack of transport to go out into green spaces. And I'm quite keen to do a bit of myth busting around that we have to go to nature when, as you can see, this is walking distance from Bideford town centre. Part of my role is to highlight the things that we actually have on our doorstep. But also what I need more than anything else is that I need people to come forward, because there are loads of people out there with local knowledge and with skills and expertise that will really help me be able to deliver the best project that I can. And I've got 3 years to do it in. So we've got time to really build some really meaningful and long-lasting connections and relationships with the beautiful landscape that we live in. I've also worked with Brave Spaces, which is a support group for women who have experienced either domestic abuse or homelessness, or very often a combination of the two. And again, I've taken them and we've done some snowdrop planting up at Arlington Court. And apart from that, I'm also planning on having a presence at the Bideford Fair with the Bideford Sustainability Group and Torridge Growing together. So there's also just that kind of groundswell of groups that are already here within Bideford that are enmeshed in sustainability, helping and supporting them and amplifying their voices, because there is always space for more people to get involved. And there's always more projects that we can look into and develop.
My name is Martha. I'm the community animator for Appledore, and we're in the churchyard here today at St Mary's. This beautiful churchyard is one of our focus areas. We're supporting the team that look after the churchyard to consider how they could include a bit more nature in the churchyard and encourage different wildlife. As well as that, I've been working with the library to do bird box making. I've also got a project on the go for hedgehog boxes, which can be distributed around the gardens of Appledore. We've recently had a meeting of different passionate members of the community to plan how to best support the community of Appledore to increase nature and sustainability actions within Appledore. And we've got a festival that we're planning and lots of different activities coming up.
So churchyards have great potential as valuable sources of biodiversity. So as being rather undisturbed land, it produces a sort of a wide array of different botany and plant life that allows different insects to thrive, and with that other species like bats that will often roost in the main church buildings, and also provide sort of habitat corridors for other species like hedgehogs and badgers that may be passing through. And I think with the right churchyard management, we can really sort of make these places thrive in rather urban environments, which a lot of the time you do find quite across the region.
As well as green spaces like the churchyard, school grounds and gardens, Appledore has a wealth of blue spaces. On the side of the estuary is a hub for crabbing, jumping off, catching the ferry across the Instow, and this gives lots of opportunities, lots of engagement with the river, the estuary and the sea, particularly in terms of water quality concerns that people might have. Another element to Appledore is that, especially in the summer, it's a very busy tourist destination with people using the water as well as the other assets in Appledore. So there's a real potential for involving tourists in understanding and appreciating the natural world that we have in Appledore and educating them about how to help look after it.
Ashreigney and Chulmleigh are an example of an area that are gladly supported by the Biosphere Communities project. They hold regular events on nature recovery and work to engage youngsters in the community. There's a community allotment and they support a local rewilding plot.
Something that we're spending quite a lot of time looking at in the Biosphere Communities project is trying to look into behavioural change as a concept. So a lot of the learning and understanding of behavioural change is owned by our colleagues within community health and wellbeing, or part of the primary care network in North Devon. So how do you change somebody's behaviour away from dietary choices or ageing more actively? Now, we've borrowed some concepts, for example, COM-B, into having a look at motivating people at a local level. Now, if we break up COM-B, we've got COMB, B being positive behavioural change. With that C, it's capability, O is opportunity, and M is motivation. Now, a lot of projects that look at supporting locally led positive climate action or biodiversity recovery looks at M in particular, motivating people. I think we've reached a stage now within a lot of our climate hubs, but with the wider biosphere and Devon as a county, one of the first to declare a climate emergency, by the way, that people are sufficiently motivated to try and make a change at either the household level, at their child's school, or their place of employment. Now, what the project's really trying to do is work on those other two factors, because somebody who's highly motivated, but they might not have the opportunity to come out over the weekend and do some tree planting, they might not have the capability of installing a hazel coppice and looking after all those dormice. So that's why highly motivated community groups might not ever be able to share great success in behavioural change. So we've tried to break it down, so any interventions that we try and lead on the project, co-designed with community groups, it's always a little bit of a check that we use as a project team, going, have we improved capability, given opportunity and boosted motivation in order to try and get that behavioural change. So I suppose if you're watching this and thinking, I'm about there, Tom, I'm really motivated to try and make a change at my household, what can I do? Well, head towards the Biosphere website, where all of our opportunities will be captured on our Biosphere Communities project page. But also we work in patchwork partnership with other like-minded groups, for example, Community Action Groups Devon, and also Wild About Devon, which sits underneath the Local Nature Partnership.